Hello everyone, my name is Julia Struck and I'm a student at Grand Canyon University. I'm doing this video for my ECE 501 class, Introduction to Early Childhood Education for graduate students. The issue that I'm going to be addressing today is cybersecurity, and I want to provide some information that I found that keeps our children and our educational institutes safe from the dangers of the World Wide Web. From my experience as an instructional assistant, the way we provide technology in the classroom is through videos, through tablets, and other educational resources. One of the greatest concerns that we constantly have is how secure are the things that we're showing our students. For example, a lot of educators use YouTube, and YouTube is a great source for educational content, but can also have inappropriate content on top of that. So, for example, say a teacher is showing a YouTube video on counting to 10, and after the video, there is a commercial for a new movie, but this movie is inappropriate for children, young children to watch. So things like that pop up when utilizing YouTube. And so it's important for a teacher to be aware of that and to constantly be monitoring and have control over this whenever that happens. So that goes to say, my first point is that when children have access to the internet, consistently monitoring them is the best way to go. This doesn't mean that you have to look over their shoulder every second of the day, or every second that they're on the internet or on the tablet or watching videos. This just means that you as a parent or you as an educator should be aware of the content that they're accessing, and also create a way for them to freely access it that limits the amount of exposure or inappropriate exposure that they're going to receive. So according to the National Cybersecurity Alliance, the most effective way to prevent a child from accessing inappropriate material and from being exposed to inappropriate things is to utilize the parental controls feature on a tablet. Also, on computers, utilizing the firewall feature. So these two things allow educational institutes and parents to block out content that they choose. So they can block out specific websites that they don't want their child to access. They can block out language. They could block out visuals, videos, things like that that can possibly pose as inappropriate. By doing this, it also follows under the guidelines that the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act has written up for educational institutes. They require the educational institutes provide preventative measures to ensure that they limit what children have access to so that they can freely and securely explore the internet. Now, this doesn't mean that they're not able to do anything on their own, but educational institutes are supposed to provide educational resources to prevent a child from going off on their own and trying to find their own and possibly accessing something that's inappropriate or dangerous. So teachers in early education, a lot of websites that they use or applications that they utilize are things like ABC Mouse and Starfall. I know that Homer provides a lot of good learning with reading and letter sounds. Parents also need to remember, and teachers also need to remember, that some content that could be appropriate for some children could be inappropriate for others. So say, look at the difference between a kindergartner and someone who's in, say, middle school or 7th grade. In middle school, I know there's a lot of classes where they learn about their bodies and they learn about how they're changing and things like that. That necessarily wouldn't be appropriate content for a kindergartner to see, because they wouldn't really understand what's going on. They're not at that stage in their life yet. So kind of content that you're showing should be age appropriate, as well as appropriate for the grade level that you're working with. I believe this information is beneficial not only in the educational field, but also in the community. If we as a whole can take cybersecurity seriously and understand the different ways that we can prevent harmful material from being exposed to our younger generation, it'll teach them and us to be good digital citizens. And as they grow in a world with that technology is constantly growing and developing, they'll be able to utilize these sources appropriately in their adulthood. And that's what our main goal is for them to learn and grow from this, and not be exposed to harmful material on top of that.